I've been losing my voice for the last half hour or so, but I want to get this out because I'm a genuine believer that we can all find common ground somewhere. And if you're mature enough to be like, I don't have to understand everything you're going through in order to have a conversation and be like, okay, let me in on your experience. I always think that way. And then the world keeps showing me that there are not only young people, because I get it. When you're young, you don't know anything. And half of your life is trying to spend figuring out what you're going to put your time into. And then it can be really easy to be like, well, I don't understand this. It doesn't make sense to me. So I'm going to think it's dumb. I did that. There was a punk band called Hawk Nelson that I insulted every chance I could get when I was growing up. And I had a friend who was really into it. And what was one of their songs? Get the bags all packed. We'll go to California. Um, we can go boarding. And I just sat there like, your voice sounds so weird. That sounds dumb. That's a dumb band. And then I had one of my old friends try and tell me, they actually have a lot of lyrics of substance, you know? Let's take control and be ourselves. And I'm like, let's take control and be ourselves. I was that kind of person. And you know what happened to me? Someone beat me up. Someone wasn't willing to put up with my nonsense. And I got hit because I was being stupid. And I sat back and was like, oh, maybe I need to open my mind a little bit. I've studied psychology because I want to understand people. And I've loved how much I've come to understand myself because of the science of psychology. Generally speaking, for me, if I'm able to put some logic into a situation where my brain, especially with depression, goes, well, you don't know I'm wrong. I could be right. It could be that nothing you've ever done has made any impact on anyone ever. You don't know. To be able to look at, okay, why do I think that? And then what's the reality of the situation? Boom, we're beating the depression for today. That's why I did that. And I worked in, therapy related settings for the next near decade because I wanted to not only let other young people who struggled with autism and things like that to know, hey, look at me. I made it. You can too. I pay my bills. I buy my groceries. I have fun. I hang out with people. I can do it. You can too. But then also telling parents, hey, look, if I don't seem too weird to you, this is what your child could be eventually. If you keep getting help, if you keep working with them, let's keep trying to understand what your kiddo needs. So it amazes me, not only when you get young people that are like, what are these VTubers? I don't even understand it. What is Iron Mouse? What are they all about? And I'm like, okay, I know you watch How to Basic, and I know you know who Corpse Husband is. What's the difference? Seriously, help me understand this. Faceless content creators have been around for a while. People making content but having a persona have been around for even longer. It's the internet. So where's the disconnect? I saw a dude on YouTube. The content, the title was something like, how did this thing beat Kai Cenat? And then he's sitting there taking just as much time as it would take to Google who Iron Mouse is, going, chat, who even is this? What even is this? What even is this? It's just so weird. So I comment and I go, why don't we take time to try and learn? And then one comment said, I don't need to take time to respect every internet niche that comes out. Well, you shot yourself in the foot there, dude. I would hate to live a life where I feel like, hey, you know those group of people over there I don't understand? I'm not going to respect them because I don't understand it. Dude, that is foul. But then who's talking about respect? I'm just talking, and who's talking about a niche? She's not a niche anymore. She's bigger than Kai Cenat on Twitch. Seems mainstream to me at this point. But why does it have to be such an affront? I mean, there's stuff I don't like. I don't like jazz music. I don't get it. I don't understand how it's made. I don't understand how the members trade off back and forth. I don't understand how that is supposed to be the best form of music. But am I going to make a YouTube channel where I, criticize stuff I don't understand? Well, there's plenty of big time music reviewers that do that. They'll look at NF talking about, his mom and being like, well, he's just melodramatic. You get paid to say that? I am in the wrong career. Just arguing that you're a reviewer and then say nonsense that you know nothing about and then getting paid for that? What? But I don't understand how adults do that. How has life not beaten that out of you? How are you able to go to work, pay your bills, have relationships, have a marriage maybe, do all those different things and have that attitude? There's got to be points in your life where that is going to push up against you. And people are going to tell you, like, dude, grow up. I can understand it if you're a young person, but if you're older, like, how? How do you do that? So then most recently, I saw a comment where someone said on one of my Linkin Park videos, "We don't respect weak men. Chester Bennington was a coward." Oh, okay. The level of ignorance to that, in addition to your father figure being a failure in raising you, that's the first point. But secondly, I'm glad you've never struggled with depression. Truly. I'm glad that has never happened to you. I actually know some people who have never struggled with depression. They've just been able to logically think through everything and never had rampant emotions just press you down to the point where you can't even think straight. When I deleted my last channel, I'd been thinking about why I did that ever since. Why? I had a huge platform. I was going towards everything I'd ever dreamed. Why would I just break down, have a panic attack, and delete all of it? Everything, including my old music, which I spent a lot of time and money on. When this is not in line, you can't even rationalize. You can find a way to make every relationship in your life and every accomplishment seem pointless and make it seem like everyone hates you. Regardless. Chester left a wife and kids. How could he do that? Weak. So you don't understand depression. Good. But how dare you? To think that someone struggling with something means weakness is a pivotal failure of understanding humanity. Not just human development, but humanity. I would hate to make assumptions about this individual because that's what they're doing, and that's what I just said too many people do on the internet. So I'm not going to, but I'm going to say that in order to think that someone's struggling with something and having a momentary lapse of judgment, because that's what suicide is. It's a momentary lapse of judgment. It is one moment where your constitutions fail to the point of action, which is why there's a lot of therapists that once they get to know their client well enough and they know that client doesn't really want to do anything drastic, they have the professional mindset and composure that sometimes for some of their clients, when they go, I don't know if I could do this anymore, I think I should just end it all. And they go, do it. It's not a call out. It's not a criticism. It's just saying, I know you well enough that that's not where you want to go. That's not where I wanted to go, but I tried it when I was 19. I don't have a belt around, so I can't use the visual example. Tried to, and It was a lapse of judgment. Now, thank heaven, I didn't have anything else. Because sometimes you only need 1 second. You know? 1 second, let gravity take hold. Put a couple pounds of force behind that trigger. Whatever. That is why even in some churches, right? I went to a funeral a few years ago, and someone lost their composure, gunshot. And one of the pastors there said, is this person in hell? And in their assessment, they said no. They were struggling, and then they had one moment of making a bad choice. It's still a bad choice, don't get me wrong. When you make that choice, it's not a good thing to do. Because you are leaving a lot of people who need you, a lot of people who do love you. When I finally told people around me that I was in that position, that I did something like that, I had no clue how many people were devastated, hurt, angry at me that I would ever think to do that. You don't know that when your mind is not aligned with reality, which depression does. So, pardon me for getting a little emotional. I know depending on who you talk to online, that's a no-no. That means your points are invalid if you get emotional. You're supposed to say everything like this. Well, so, in conclusion about emotions, I just sat there and thought, this guy is such a catalyst of so many issues that I see going on online. I don't know if it's gotten better or worse over the years, but I guess I don't understand why it exists at all. Why do you have to be so offended and frustrated by someone else's life experience that instead of taking time to understand where they're coming from, you have to criticize who they are in a way that shows that you know nothing about their life experience? Like, what do you hope to gain? Is it fun to hurt other people and just show how ignorant and stupid you are about other people's life experiences? I don't get it. So I deleted that comment. I hid the person from the channel, so we're not going to see him again. But I just sat there like, that is so sad that someone did such a poor job in raising someone to let them know, you know what? Men don't feel these emotions. No, they do. Culture has just done a wonderful job criticizing us for feeling it. And maybe we'll care to rewrite the script. I don't think it'll happen in a while because it's still so fun to make fun of men and how stupid we are, but then also complain about us not understanding things and criticizing and all that other stuff. It's half the reason why I don't want to date anymore. I see how ladies are online. Yeah, you make fun of how stupid we are, but then you complain that we can't do X, Y, Z. And I'm like, I don't even know what half of you want. I'm just saying. But to all the men out there, know that you are not a failure. There's not a single thing that you can do in your life that makes you a failure if you are trying to work on yourself. And if you're struggling to understand who you are and you're struggling emotionally, I will bet money that there is at least one person in your life who, if you open up to them and are honest with them, will genuinely help you. Because another thing depression does is it makes it seem like no one is there for us. So I know the argument. Oh, I don't have anyone there for me. I bet you do. And you might not even know who they are. I would just hate to think that in your situation, you might have to end up like where I was, where I didn't know until it was almost too late after the fact to learn about all the people that cared about me the whole time. I was just kind of rambling. So anyway, thanks for watching, I guess. You're loved. You're valued. If you need anything, DM me. And that's all I got to say about that.